Today we are going to be making a fabulous lemon tart. This little pie packs a massive flavour punch. It's like being punched in your taste buds with lemon. And we're going to be finishing off the top with a little cheeky swirl of meringue. Let's begin with the crust, and guys, this crust does not go soggy, it is incredible. We're going to be adding some all-purpose flour to the bowl of a food processor, along with some powdered sugar, a little bit of vanilla extract, and we're going to blitz that until everything is well combined. Next, we're going to add some cold butter, which I've just cut into cubes. Blitz that until you reach lentil size pieces. Then we're going to be adding 4 egg yolks, and we're going to blitz this until everything is really well combined. Now, upon inspection, this is going to look really crumbly, but if you get a little bit in your hand and bunch it together, it actually forms a dough. I'm going to pour this out onto my pastry mat. These are really handy when you're making pies, guys, because it's just a really easy way to bunch your dough together. Plus, it has a really handy dandy guide on the size to measure out your dough when you're rolling it out. We're going to wrap this in some plastic wrap, and it's going in the fridge for 1 hour to rest. Now today I'm going to be using a 9-inch tart tin with a removable bottom. Mine has holes in it, but yours doesn't have to. Add a little bit of flour on top of your dough, and we're just going to begin rolling it out. And again, I'm using the circles on my pastry mat as a guide for how big I want to roll this out. So roughly about 14 inches wide. Once you've rolled it out, you want to roll it onto your rolling pin and then drape it over your tart tin. Now, this part is important. You don't want to stretch the dough as you're putting it into the tart tin. You want to let it fall down to the bottom by lifting up the sides and encouraging it to fall naturally. If you stretch it, it will shrink as it bakes. Now, to neaten up that top, because we do have excess pastry, I saw this really cool trick from Nagi at Recipe Tin Eats, where you just roll the rolling pin on top, and it literally is the quickest, easiest, and neatest way I've ever seen to get rid of excess dough. We're going to use a fork to perforate the bottom of the tart tin. That's going to prevent our pastry from bubbling up as it bakes. Now, we are going to blind bake this today, so I've got some baking paper. I'm going to scrunch it up and then flatten it out again, and scrunching it up, it just makes it easier to put it into the grooves of the tart tin. Then we are going to fill this up with some dried chickpeas. This is my alternative to those really expensive store-bought baking beads. I find this is actually better because they're smaller and they're really cheap. This is going to go in the oven for 15 minutes, and then we're going to get rid of the chickpeas and we're going to bake for a further 10 minutes. Let's move on to the filling. It's really easy. To a medium-sized mixing bowl, we're going to add some sugar, some lemon zest. Now, there's a lot of lemon juice in this recipe, and it must be fresh, guys. This is where all the flavor comes from. Add that to your bowl along with some eggs. And then we're going to add some heavy cream. Once everything is really well combined, we're going to pour this into our baked tart tin, and we're going to bake it for 10 minutes, then turn it around in the oven and bake for a further 10 minutes. It's still going to be jiggly in the center, but not like wobbly so that it looks unbaked. So just be mindful of that. The last thing we want to do is make our meringue. So those egg yolks we used in the pastry, we're going to be using the egg whites to make the meringue. So add those to a large mixing bowl along with 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. That's going to help this whip up better. You can alternatively use a little bit of lemon juice. Once you've got your egg whites nice and frothy, we are going to begin adding our sugar very slowly. So add a little bit, mix, and then continue adding a little bit at a time. Once it's all in there, we're going to add some vanilla extract Continue whisking for about 5 minutes. Then once it's nice and thick and glossy, and you can do this without being scared it's going to pour out, it's done. I'm using an open star tip in my piping bag, and this is optional. You could just pile it on top if you like, but this is the Scran line and I'm a little bit fancy. I'm going to be using a cake turntable to do this because it's much easier with one of these, and I'm just going to kind of pipe tornado swirls around the outside of our lemon tart. And guys, you can toast this if you like. Tell me in the comments down below, would you toast this or leave it untoasted? I like how purely white this looks. And that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I am so excited for you guys to see the new kitchen set. And guys, if you want to see more videos, I've got some on screen now. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Scran Line.